Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and I am so excited that you are here with me today. We are going to take a deep look at the three angelic beings that will help you heal. Now, before we really dive into this, we want to make sure that you understand exactly what healing is and what makes it possible. So I'm not going to go into a big explanation. That's what we had last week. So if you are still really confused about what healing is, please go to the stream. You are you too broke? Am I too broken to heal? And review that. So we're just going to quickly go over a summary of healing, and then we're going to immediately go into the three angelic healers, helpers that are going to be able to help you. And they are Jesus, Saint John of the Cross. Now, last week I said that incorrectly. I called him Saint John of God. It is Saint John of the Cross. So, excuse me for that confusion. And also Archangel Raphael. So, just to summarize quickly about healing, and please, if you are new here, welcome. I am so grateful for all of your comments and your suggestions. Please keep your questions just about this particular topic, but if you have a topic that you would like me to talk about, include that in the comments, and I'll be happy to respond to that in the future. So let's get started on healing. First of all, let's remember that God is good and good is God. If we are not in a position where we are understanding that everything that God can do for us or to us is good, then we are not in a relationship with God. We may be in a relationship with some sort of religion or teachings or ancestral belief. And I encourage you to really do your homework and get into a relationship with God instead of with someone else's belief system. So, God is good and good is God. Now remember, everyone can be healed. There are no exceptions to this rule. There is no such thing in the mind of the divine that someone is not worthy of receiving a healing. How? Because God doesn't play favorites. There's no, oh, I like her, I don't like him, or vice versa. It's just healing is available to everyone, and your free will decides what the healing looks like for you. So that means that some people may choose to be cured. Others may decide to transition. Still others may choose to live with the illness because it is teaching them something or they are gaining something from the experience. So let's not judge if you see someone not getting healed or cured in the way that you believe it should happen, and instead understand that each one of us are going through the journey that is best for us, the journey that we have agreed to undertake for our growth, our greatest, um, our greatest ascension journey. Everybody here has the opportunity to go on an ascension journey. There are no substitutions, no qualifiers to that. What is different is that you may not choose that path in this life. That's okay. You are learning what you need to learn for your optimal growth. So allow healing to look different for different people, and understand that the illness may be necessary for someone's life work. It may fulfill their highest good. It may be an opportunity to experience something that the person, the individual, is needing or wanting to experience in order for them to feel complete. It can be a transitional vehicle, or it can be in support of the agreed upon narrative for the life. Unless you're living that life, you don't know. And even when you're living the life, sometimes it can get very murky. And this is when we just have to go back into the heart, clear away the pain and the trauma, and just recognize that doesn't matter. Whatever pain is or was is not the important thing. What is important is that you are understanding that you are good, you are loved, you are guided, you are supported, and that there will never come a time when the divine will see you as less than or unworthy. So, for whatever reason that you may have chosen a journey that includes some sort of dis-ease, know that that does not change your value, your worth, or anything about you. Now, I want to share a story before I share with you the three healers that completely changed my mind about the purpose of disease. Because prior to that, I had kind of looked at it as something to get over, something to move beyond. And when I had this particular experience, I got a whole different perspective. So I am part of a group in Facebook that there's a gentleman on there, and he posts these beautiful pictures of angels as clouds, different cloud formations that he posts pictures, and just stunning everyday pictures where you can see angelic activity. The guy is really, really gifted. And because I am part of his community and get to see these pictures, I was also there when he reached out for help. And he asked everyone to begin praying for one of his children. I'm making this deliberately vague because I don't have his permission to share any information. So he asked for prayer for one of his children because they were going through cancer. They were struggling with cancer, and it moved very quickly. One minute he was asking for prayer, the next minute they were mentioning that they were saying goodbye to their child, as the child was in hospice. Now, and then I think 2 weeks later, the individual had transitioned. And for some reason, this particular time when I had helped someone through this journey really hit me hard. I couldn't understand. The person was relatively young. The person was leaving children behind. The person seemed to be living a life that looked to be ideal. Why would you want to transition at this time? So, because I was able to contact that person, I did. And I said to them, what were you thinking? Why would you think it is okay to leave now? And the answer just blew my mind and completely reframed the way that I was looking at all of this. And the answer was coming from this individual: silly rabbit. Everything's fine. Don't you understand? We had this all planned from the beginning. I didn't abandon my children. We agreed that they wanted the life experience of learning what it would be like to lose a parent at this point in their life journey. I'm still with them in my energetic form. I'm just no longer there for them in my physical form. I was completely taken aback that this was what was happening, that it was so beautifully orchestrated, that there was nobody in this family group that could feel as though they had been taken advantage of, or this was not what they wanted or what they had planned for, yes, the grief was still real. The grief was still raw. However, each one of the people in this family unit, and the extended family unit included, each one of these people had had a pre-life agreement that they wanted this experience for the growth. So that's what I mean when I tell you healing looks different in every person. This particular individual was not cured from their cancer. However, they followed the life path that gave them the greatest opportunity to explore and to expand, and also gave all of the other participants their greatest opportunity to explore and to expand. So if you are personally going through an illness, or you know someone who is, just encourage them to connect to the love and allow themselves to feel fulfilled by the journey, no matter what it looks like. So now let's take a look at our three helpers: Jesus, St. John of the Cross, and Archangel Raphael. Now, I know I spend a lot of time talking about Jesus, but I got to tell you guys, Jesus is my best friend. I am not a religious person. I am currently not even attending a church, but I have a deep personal relationship with the Christ consciousness, and I encourage all of you to do the same thing. It will be an intimate personal relationship that is just right for you. For me, Jesus represents the energy of miracles. He is usually surrounded by a golden light with sort of a center of white. And when Jesus comes into my energetic field, I feel that presence right down the middle, and then it spreads outward so that it is encompassing my entire being. So now, what we want you to know about Jesus, and I say we because Jesus is here with me, helping me, is that he is the perfect example of what life could be like if you were truly in alignment with the divine. Jesus was in a physical body. You can think of him as a spiritual being, but we must recognize that he did have a physical lifetime that included some very unpleasant parts to it. So Jesus will help you understand what life can be like when you are in perfect alignment. He is not a religious figure, and let us be clear that Jesus did not come to start a religion. He said that he came to show us the way to the Father and to a life of ease, joy, love, and peace. So the other interesting thing about Jesus is that I'm going to correct that. All major religions mention Jesus, perhaps not as a central figure, but there is always some mention of this prophet. Jesus teaches love and trust, acceptance, compassion, not just for others, for yourself as well, mercy, the power of faith. And he reminds us continuously that anything is possible if you are in alignment. So perhaps the greatest thing that Jesus works with me on a daily basis is being in alignment, not allowing myself to go off in one direction or the other, or to go down into a place where I've lowered my vibration and I'm no longer able to access the energetic realm with ease. Alignment is everything because it allows you to be within the stream of blessings. And when you are within that stream, that's when your life starts becoming really fabulous. If you just get there every once in a while, life could feel kind of patchy. Some days good, some days bad. The more that you stay in alignment, the more you're going to have that steady stream of unconditional love and acceptance flowing to you and then through you. So the better that you're going to feel, the better your life is going to be. It will just consistently have you in the right place at the right time. Opportunities that you thought you would never be able to intersect with will suddenly become apparent. And also, Jesus is the bridge. He's the bridge when the divine feels too vast. If you have a wonderful relationship with God and you're able just to feel God in all of their fullness, then you may not want to cultivate such a close relationship with Jesus. But if it feels sometimes that you just can't wrap your heart around all that the divine is, then that more intimate connection with Jesus will be perfect for you. You can establish a one on one kind of connection that just gives you that semblance, that sense of connectivity. And through that connection, Jesus shows us the perfect way to live as a human being. Now, don't get upset if you can't do it perfectly. I don't do it perfectly either. I do it as best as I can in every moment of every day. Some days that's not good at all. Other days it's magnificent. I am working toward having more magnificent days and less days that are kind of off on the wrong end. So don't get discouraged. Just do your best to fill up, to love yourself as you are and to accept yourself as you are, and know that then you are walking and working in harmony with the divine. Jesus reminds us to put God first and then self love second. And I think this is another place where we often get confused. And this is because there is a scripture, and I know I said I don't not affiliated with any religion. However, I do use the Bible for the Jesus teachings. So in the Bible, there is the scripture, and I'm not going to quote it correctly, but it basically says, love the Lord God with all your heart and all your might, and then love your brother as you love yourself. Well, I found in my own time with different religions that phrase, that teaching often got confused, at least for me. What I walked away with is love God, who may not love you back, and be so giving, kind, and loving to all of the other people that you meet. And don't worry about you. You have no value. You, person, have no value, but all those other people, oh, they're the ones that you really need to give up your life for. Be a servant for God. I'd like to reframe that for everyone. The scripture doesn't say love all the others and hate yourself. It says love your brother as you love yourself. No self love, no ability to love anyone else. So let's right now take a look at what Jesus is asking you. He is not asking you to be a servant, not to be an unpaid worker for God. He is saying to be in service to the highest good of all. Be so filled up with love from God and so aligned with your own magnificence that it automatically pours out from you onto every other being. Allow yourself to fill up first. Fill up all those empty places. Feel good about you. Feel delighted about all that you are. Accept yourself just as you are. And then allow that overflowing cup, because God doesn't stop blessing you just because you filled up. Allow yourself to be that overflowing well of love and goodness for the world. Wayne Dwyer has a quote that says, "One aligned heart can bring love to 750,000 people." Let's agree right now to be that one heart that is aligned by loving and accepting all that you are. And don't stop. Just keep going and seeing yourself as magnificent until you are overflowing onto 750,000 others. When we do God first, we get God's best. And God's best is far grander than anything you can imagine for yourself. You may be able to see yourself as worthy of this much. The divine see you as worthy of this much. So don't limit yourself. God first, because God equals your highest good to the gazillionth, and you basically equal limitation. We cannot see as God sees us, no matter how hard we try, because we are still within this physical realm. But allow yourself to attach to the one being that has limitless vision and can see all of the possibilities and guide you in the direction of limitless instead of limited. Also, when you put God first, it will help you create a sense of balance within yourself. That creates harmony. And right there, that is what you need in order to live a life of ease and joy. So Jesus can help you recognize your own greatness. He sees it and he will show it to you. He will remind you that anything is possible, and he will help you establish realistic hope. My kids have a saying called hopium. When you are believing something that has absolutely no reason to be true and no kind of energetic markers that would allow you to believe that this has any possibility to come true. Jesus will help you get realistic about what is possible. Let's take an example. I may want to be an astronaut. However, given my age, and given the age that you need to be in order to be an astronaut, that is not something that is possible for me in this particular lifetime. However, there are many different ways that I could serve in that capacity and just not do going into space. Now, they're also reminding me that now they have private space adventures. So even though I could not be a NASA astronaut, I might be able to take a trip into space if I really desired that. This is the difference between getting upset because your hope is unrealistic and living with unlimited possibilities, and then deciding which ones you really want to put time and effort into achieving. So I'm going to encourage you not to put all of your effort into something that has very little likelihood of bringing you joy, and instead put all of your energy into the place that makes your heart expand with love and joy. That will bring you the greatest satisfaction. Now let's take a look at another being who was here in a physical body, because I think it's important sometimes to recognize that people who were living in physical bodies, just like we are, were able to accomplish great feats. And then take a look at how they were able to do that. Oh, I see I'm running out of time here. I'll go a little faster. Um, take a look at how they were able to do that to give you some parameters to work with. So we've got St. John of the Cross, who was a Spanish mystic in the 1500s. At age 14, pretty young. Now remember, 1500s, they did not have a long lifespan. But at age 14, he took a job at a hospital. That sounds pretty normal until you realize he was working with incurable patients and those who were deemed to be insane, to have a mental illness. Talk about a downer of a job. That must have been so difficult. But instead of letting depression claim him while he was working in this capacity, he was able to find God in everything. He learned to see beauty and happiness within these incurable patients. And let's remember, this is the 1500s, not very much medicine in those days. So many people did die from illness or were not able to live normal lives because of insanity. But he, St. John, was able to find beauty and happiness even in the midst of what would be considered a very dark situation. His greatest love was God. He worked with St. Teresa to reform the Carmelite order. Now you would think, oh, what a wonderful thing. He's helping the nuns to reform so that they can become even more aligned with God. But apparently that was not well received. So, as retaliation for his work, he was imprisoned, beaten, and isolated. And apparently it was quite a small cell in which he was imprisoned. However, he continued to pray, to find the beauty and the happiness in everything, and eventually escaped through a window with only his poetry. He then went to hide in the nunnery. Is it nunnery? Convent. In the convent that he was helping, or one of the convents that he was helping. And there was an earthquake at the convent, or there was some sort of problem when they were doing some building. They were doing some what do you call it? Do I have my notes here? Oh darn! They were doing restoration to the building, some sort of building repair, and the walls collapsed. And yet he was found unharmed and said that the Virgin Mary came and protected him, acted as a shield as the walls and the roof fell down all around him. He was just there standing in the corner. But he spent 9 months of prayer where before he was able to first escape out of that window and take only that poetry with him. And then after he got to the convent, he would read these poems that he had written about God and about heaven. He would read them to the nuns. And he created so much peace and safety around him by spending all of this time in alignment with God that then when the building collapsed, he was not harmed. So the rest of his life, he shared God's love with all, wrote books with practical advice on spiritual growth, and is quoted as saying, "Where there is no love, put love, and you will find love." We are told over and over again by absolutely every being who is in the energetic realm at this time, love is the answer. Where there is no love, put love, and you will find love. So many miracles were attributed to St. John of the Cross. Not only the Virgin Mary covering him during the building collapse, but also when he died and his body was later exhumed, he was found to still be in perfect condition. The body had not decomposed at all, and it smelled of roses. So if you are going through a difficulty, this is what St. John of the Cross can help with. He will remind you that just like Jesus, that miracles are possible. He was a human being just like you and experienced miracles. So he can help you build your miracle faith. He will help you have mystical experiences. One of the other things that is known about him that is that he was able to levitate during prayer. He will encourage you to embrace all of life, to see the perfection in all creatures, to forgive yourself and others. You want to connect with him through an open heart of prayer. State your problem and then ask for help. Now, as always, it's very important that we remember not to keep stating the problem. State the problem once, get it out, be clear. This is what you need help with. Ask for help. And then from that point forward, you begin thanking God for the answers. Oh, thank you that this problem, whatever it is, has been resolved. And the neat thing about St. John of the Cross is that he often works through other people. So when you have prayed to St. John of the Cross and asked for his intervention with whatever problem you're having, then you need to keep an open mind and expect that you are going to receive kindnesses and generous strangers. Now, I have found that that is my life pretty much all of the time, and that is just part of walking with God. This is why I encourage each one of us to get that personal relationship going. Nothing is going to take the place of a personal relationship. St. John of the Cross teaches us to the values. Oh, look at this, my notes. The values of a personal relationship with God. And also allow St. John to help guide you into your own personal relationship. So not only will he remind you, he can help guide you into that place because he very definitely had a very personal relationship with God. Okay, I can stay with you for about 5 more minutes. So let's talk about one of my favorite archangels, Archangel Raphael, who is that beautiful emerald green color and is the angel of healing. Remember, angels are omnipresent. So don't worry that when you are calling on an angel for help or support, don't worry that you are taking them away from someone who may have a more serious condition. They can be everywhere at the same time, helping everyone without causing any kind of lessening of their ability to help. So Raphael's God, goodness, Raphael's name means God heals. He is one of the 7 angels who have dominion over the earth. We are not alone here. He helps to oversee all life and all living things and keeps the natural order. Raphael is the healer for all conditions and for all creatures. This means that you can call on him for your animals, for yourself, for friends, family, children, whomever it may be. You can call on Archangel Raphael. He heals through love, joy, and peace. Now let's understand that sickness or dis-ease is not understood by the divine mind. they don't see it because they exist where sickness does not exist. So Raphael is not going to bring you a cure for the sickness. He's going to elevate your vibration so your body will exist in the place where sickness is not, and the body will heal itself. This is really what is happening in healing. The body is doing the work. We all live in self-healing bodies, but if the body is immersed in darkness or that lower vibrational energy that is more in tune with negativity and despair and darkness, then that healing energy, the ability for the body to renew itself, is more difficult to access. So Archangel Raphael will encourage you to uplift you to get up to those positive places, that positive, joyful state of being where you can access that self-renewing, healing energy. He lifts you above the energy of the challenge, whether it be sickness, disease, or any other kind of challenge. So he is wonderful to call on just in times of difficulties. But it is the actual act of moving away from the depressed state, the state where your energy is not able to access fully the healing, the love of God, to getting up to the place, the uplifted, joyful, beautiful place where you do have access to all of the unconditional love and acceptance, the Godness, where your body can restore itself. And Archangel Raphael will help you to hold that high vibration, to see the beauty, to see the joy, to see the reasons why life is good. Now, it is important to mention here, because I do think this is another place where we often get confused. A low vibration does not indicate that you are a bad person. We have all been in depressed places where we are not feeling good, places where we are feeling irritable or lost or confused. It is merely part of the life journey. It doesn't indicate good or bad. If you're in a high place, you're not better than the person that's in a low place. You've just managed to move yourself into a better vibrational space, but you're not a better person. Love heals all. So if you find a person that is experiencing a low vibration, don't approach them with judgment. Please approach them with love. Welcome, Camp Sue. Thank you for all the hearts. Now, one other thing. Archangel Raphael is associated with spring and the evening wind. So you may feel joyful just when you call on Archangel Raphael because of that. Archangel Raphael is just this loving light presence. And you know how wonderful we all feel when spring rolls around. The trees, the flowers are all budding. You can see new life. The animals are giving birth. It brings us joy. And that is what Archangel Raphael is associated with. He always represents gentle, loving care. And as I said before, he is the healer for all. And I'm including the planet. So if you are really feel that your mission is to bring healing to the planet, you want to team up with Archangel Raphael. Remember, the earth is a living organism, not just the beings on the earth, but the earth itself. So he will also help inspire you, or all of us, to treat the earth with gentle, loving kindness. Now, you can call on Archangel Raphael to also protect your children or protect you when you are traveling. And this is including both our outward journeys, our journeys in the world, and our inward journeys, our journeys into the heart. And as always, I invite you into the inward journey of the heart. There is no more beautiful journey you will take. Please don't be put off when you first begin that heart journey and you see a lot of pain and trauma that is unresolved. Call on Archangel Raphael, call on Jesus, clear that out so you can get to your true essence and see yourself as the magnificent being that you really are. So, Archangel Raphael can assist you with, as I said, travel, ease and safety, healing your body, mind, and spirit, clarity of thinking. Really important, especially during these heavy energetic periods that we're in now, where you can feel a little confused because of the ascension journey that we're all on. He'll help you make decisions. He will help you see life's endless possibilities. Are you noticing a theme here? All of the angels that work around healing want you to see that you are an unlimited being. Even though we have limited sight, they can see that there are unlimited possibilities that we can engage with that will bring us joy. So you never have to worry that you missed an opportunity. There's a better opportunity coming right behind that one that you missed. Just be open. Archangel Raphael will also help you do well on exams. He's not the only energy that will help you do well on exams, but he will help you really get clarity. And that mental clarity will help you see what might have been hidden when you were getting nervous about the exam or nervous about not being able to feel as though your healing journey is progressing in the way that you want it to. I understand that healing can be so overwhelming. So I want you to know that I believe in you. I see you in all of your magnificence. And I want to encourage you to go on the journey into the heart and see your own magnificence as well. You can do this on your own, but if you feel that it's just too tough, then please reach out to me through my website. I offer private and group counseling, or you can do a one-on-one, or you can do the self-help program. But help is available. You're not by yourself. You are not too broken to heal, and you are worthy. And Camp Sue says, the heart journey is the trip to liberation. It truly is. It will bring you everything you thought you were searching for and so much more. It will bring you more than you even knew existed. So please go on the journey into your heart center. Do it with the help of the energetic realm, the angels. Do it with me. Do it with someone that you feel connected to. But please don't waste another minute. You deserve this beautiful life that can be lived through the heart. And I absolutely have to go now. Thanks everyone for being here with me today. I truly appreciate you. Oh, just one thing. Next Tuesday, we're going to be talking more about renewal, but renewal of the soul. So I'll see you then. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.